All right, guys. Yeah, today I'm trying to walk you guys through how you can do the simple Splunk project. Uh, have the architecture was spelled out here. It's a distributed environment, but it has um basically three um, components of Splunk, such as indexer, and then the deployment server, which will also serve as your monitoring console. So the idea is to use the deployment server to send apps to the Windows server and then the Linux server. So I have two uh, forwarders that I'll be working with. So I'll be using the deployment server to deploy apps to these forwarders. One will be on the on the Windows server, and then one will be on the Linux server. So this is a simple architecture that I'm working with. So currently I have provision these three servers in Google Cloud platform. So I have my searcher, my index, and then the deployment server, which also serves as my monitoring console. The idea is to monitor these logs coming from both the Windows and then the Linux server. So we have the security apps and system logs from Windows, and also we have the VAR logs from the Linux service. Also, what I'll do is that I'll provision these two servers that I have the forwarders installed on AWS. So I'm trying to get servers from the different cloud platforms and see how we can actually work between these different platforms. So this is a simple approach. This might not actually follow uh, the same logic out there, but it's a thought process that I have spelled out here that you can follow. So uh, going forward, let's go to my server. So these are my deployment server here, and I have which server as my monitoring console. I also have my indexer, which will receive the logs. Let me see. Let me change the name on this server. Call it index. Yeah, it's already done. So let's see, save this. Okay. So it should be good now. Okay, good. And I also have my searcher. Now, for me to be able to communicate, to have a connection between my uh, three components of Splunk, what I will do first of all is to go on the search head, and then under distributed search, add the two components of Splunk. The other two components are search PS on the search head. So I'm going to do that quickly. So I have the first one, which is the DS here. Copy the IP address, come here, do HTTPS, put the IP in there, and then do have my management port attached, putting my credentials for Splunk, and then it's all right, so added. Let me do the second one, which is the indexer. Copy the IP, and then do this. Okay. Credential for Splunk, credential for Splunk, then save it. So I have two of my Splunk components, the other two components here. And to confirm it, I can do a quick search on the internal logs to see whether my searcher is able to search these two components as well, the indexer and then yes. So you could see I have my indexer and then the searcher all being searchable from the searcher. So that's good. So now I'll go to my deployment server. Go to settings. I've not yet commissioned, or sorry, commissioned my Windows and Linux servers yet, but what I'm going to do is to try to get my folder management configured so that immediately I bring those forwarders on board, they'll have their apps ready, they'll be deployed, and then we can set the ball rolling. All right, so first of all, I'll create my server classes. So let me see. I'm going to have a Linux output app. Let me put it that way. And then I'll also have my Linux input app. I also have my Windows input. And then have my sorry, I have to actually type it here. Windows input app. All right, so I've created these server classes again. Since my architecture does not include a manager node, which will manage my indexer. So this one, I have to take this out. This serverless indexer. So let me put this one slash monitoring console here. Since I don't have a manager node managing my indexer, I'll use the deployment apps. Sorry, the deployment server to deploy uh, an app to my index. So I'll call this index app. All right, so I have these server classes already configured. All right. Then again on my deployment server, I'm going to go to find apps. And here I look for my Windows TA, install it. It will ask for my credentials, and then I'll put it in. All right, that's done. And then also I'll look for my Linux app. Then that's it. Go to it. That'll also be installed. Now, after I've installed the apps on my Linux servers, sorry, on my uh, deployment server, I'll go to the deployment server backend. I'll do sudo, let's use Splunk since I've already installed Splunk on it. Then go to cd opt Splunk tc apps. And then I'm going to locate the two apps that I installed. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move these apps. And move them. OPT Splunk etc deployment apps. So if I go to CD OPT Splunk etc deployment apps, should be able to find all the apps that I just moved to the deployment apps. So these are the apps. So now I have them in deployment apps. What I can do is that I can actually go on the indexer since my indexer will also receive apps from the deployment server. So what I'll do is I'll go to the back end of my indexer since I wanted to start communicating with my deployment server. So this is my indexer. I'll do sudo let's choose Splunk. I already have Splunk installed, and then set it to opt Splunk bin. Go to the bin directory, and then I can fire this command right here. Now this command will enable me to connect my indexer to my deployment server. So I hit enter, it asks me for my Splunk credentials. Then voila, it's updated. So already the indexer is talking to the deployment server. In the Splunk uh, documentation, they recommend that you use the manager node to deploy apps to the indexes. But in this architecture, there's no manager node. That's why I'm using the deployment server. And as a matter of fact, I could have used the deployment server also as a manager node, but I don't want to overwork the server. So if you apply this uh, process or uh, this project, you can actually use the manager node here to, and it will still work fine. The commands will be different, but it will still work fine. On the deployment server, I go to my folder management, and then have my waiting for the folder to come. So the indexer will respond to the the deployment server as an agent. So it will take at least some 60 seconds to do that. So I have to give it a minute. All right. So whilst we wait on that, we can also start looking at deploying our servers. Right. So even before we start to configure or to launch our forwarders, the indexer has responded. So we can start with the indexer. So we have this app that we're going to use for the indexer. Click on this app, and then here we can edit the agent. And then what we can do is to put in the name and then do a preview here. And then we can do a save. And then again, we can also go to the configuration. And then what we need on the index are these two apps. You can see the data that will be coming from the Linux and the Windows server, they should be passed correctly. And these two tiers will help the indexer do that. So I'm going to deploy these two tiers to the index, and I have done that. So this app that we created for the indexer, this server class that we created for the indexer is deploying these two apps to the indexer. So we're good on the indexer part. We can now go ahead and then deploy or launch our two instances, our two forwarders, and also deploy these apps to them. So let's see. In fact, what we can also do before even we deploy, let's go to the back end of the deployment server. Then my screen, I'm in okay. So what we can also do to make our work easier is to actually create we already created it. So what you can do is to here create our inputs.conf. So we need to create a separate app for both, even though we have the keys. We can generate our own apps that can handle the passing of the data when it comes to not passive data, but actually bringing the data in, getting the data in from the forwarder. So what we will do here is to create a new app and call it this one. We call it Linux underscore input. Right, and this Linux underscore input will have a local directory as expected, as required. And then you can also create another one for Windows install input, which will also have the local directory as recommended. Again, you can create Windows output, and then create a Linux output. The first thing that I want us to take care of will be the Linux. Let's take care of the input first. So what we will do is that I'll cd to the TA, go to the default directory, and then I'll do a cut inputs. I want to copy the default configuration settings that Splunk provides in the Splunk TA. We actually, based on our use case, we are monitoring this. So I'm going to copy the whole of this stanza. Yeah, it's copied. Clear the screen. Now I'll go back. So go back again and feed into the Linux inputs local, then do a vi inputs.conf, and then I'll paste my stanza here. Now here I'll need to edit it and put a 0 here. And also I should create an index to make my work more simple. I will just put a Linux index here, and what will help is that I can go to the indexer and create my index so that when data start coming in, they will go directly into the required index. So I'm going to create two indexes here. One we call Windows, and then one will be called Linux. So if you look at the stanza that I created here, I already have the Linux index ascribed to the input.conf. So for Linux input. So what I'll do is I'll go back, and then here I'll also look at the Linux. I'll set it to the Linux output. So I'll set it to the Linux output. So I've created the indexes here. It's good. And also to make my life simple, I'll go to forwarding and receiving, and then configure receiving. And the receiving port is 997. I'll save that. And again, what we do is that we go back to the deployment server. We're looking at outputs now. So we cd it to local, do a vi outputs.conf, and then we can paste this stanza for output.conf. Already have it here. I'll copy this bad boy, paste it here, and then I'll save it. So output is also done for Linux. And when we go back to government apps, and then cd into Windows output, and then in Windows output, we'll go to the local directory, and I'll do a vi outputs.conf, and then copy same stanza, the same stanza, paste it here, and then we save it. All right, so we have our output now. Let's do this the Windows inputs. But before that, let's do this again. Copy the, the input stanza from the Windows tier. So if I do a cut inputs, uh, scroll up, should find the stanza that I'm looking for. And that should be right here because I'm monitoring the OS log. So I'll copy from here up to here. And then when I do a clear, nice, I go back to CD, Windows inputs. I do a VI inputs.com and paste everything here. And here too, I'll do some editing. Change disable to 0, 0, and then here to 0. And then I'll put the index name. Index is equal to Windows. Let's go to Windows. Oh, Windows. So that should be good. All right, so I save this one too. So now it means I have all my apps created, and now we can go to the AWS console, and I'm going to spin two instances. One will be a Windows, and one will be a Linux. What is a Windows? And I'm going to use Ubuntu, and select my 10 key. So my 10 key. I already have the security groups. Change this to say 50, which should be fine. And then I'll launch it. I'll view our instances and then come again, launch the Windows server. Okay. There we go. And then I'll do here. Do 50, then we'll launch it. So I've launched it. I have to install Windows forwarders. Splunk forwarders on both the Windows and then the Linux tier. I'll do that of the Linux first. Actually have well, I have a script that I'm going to use. So we'll do cd desktop where my 10 key is. I'll paste this and then the SSH into the Linux server. And then I'll do sudo su clear cd 10 directory where vi run.sh, and we should have my UF, yes. My UF bash script is here. Let me copy it and paste it here. Save it and then chmod it, make it executable. I can't run this platform. So whilst it's running, I'll go here and then come up to Windows. Let's see if it's ready for me. Thank you. Decrypt. this up. So what I would do, I'll come here, instances, select this, network, and pick the IP address, come here, DP, this examine will be is data, okay, go back to government password, ask the password, paste it here, do an okay, and then I'll just start. Okay, so I think good stuff, pretty good. Okay, so this is coming down. Okay, so the new server is having issue. I'm fine, but it should be good now. Yes. All right, so now I can do a sudo su splunk. All right, and then here I'll need two commands. I need to run the same command here to connect it to the DS. So I'll do cd copy this splunk order e, take the command, and then do this, document create, forget. It takes a little bit of time for the Windows, so I'm working on the Windows too. But for now, there's another command that I want to run, but that will give us the permission, sorry, give us the permission to monitor the wire log. So I'm going to run these two commands. It doesn't have it installed. Let me copy this. Let's click on this. No, it should be in sudo. I can do sudo. I'll put sudo in front of it. Okay, let's see what we got. Let's go back to this one. I'll go back on that one. No comes. We'll figure it out. Okay, let's go this. I'll do just an exit and then do and do okay, input this command. Alright. And then as it is installing this SCTF ratio, now I'll be able to run this command. Run this command. Permission to Splunk to monitor the var logs. Okay, so that's good. Now let's go here and then get Splunk installed on the UF2. Now, if you at this point, you have the folder, second folder, or let's say the first folder. I say second folder because the first one was the indexer. Yeah. So we see that the UF is now responding. All right, let's go back to this one. And then try and get us going. I'm going to go to Google and then look for a Splunk package and install. Mhm, 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 this thing, install the model. Okay. All right, so I'm installing, in the process of installing my Windows folder, Splunk folder. It's a little slow, but already did that of the Linux and it's up and running. So I'll do the folder quickly and then we'll proceed from there. Let's see what we got here. Let's see, we should have downloads here. Open downloads. Then which one should we go for? This is for that. Not the new install. Put my own password. And here I'll put the IP of the deployment server. So I can go here, go here, grab my deployment service IP, come back to here, paste it, paste it, do 80 on this. Here we are not going to do it because we already have our output.conf file created, so we know to use this one. And then we'll install. So whilst it's installing, let's see what we can do. Let's look at this. Mhm. So we can start pushing the apps to the Linux server. So for Linux input, I can go to the agent. In Linux input, all we need this is the Linux server. So we need to just type in IP. I can just copy everything. Okay. Okay. So the preview. Preview. Thank you for the question. That's it. Here. Let's show. So we can also go to the configuration and here we look for Linux input. So right. Then we can go back to groups and do Linux output. Go to the agent, copy the IP, addressing, work for us in the first scenario. So that your preview, found it, save it, put the configuration, edit configuration, this output, push this, toggle it, and then save it. Alright, so we have the Linux output here. So if you look at it, it's for For Linux with download, let me look at the input again and see which agents, which configuration I deployed to it. See, all right. So, oh, so it's been deployed to the Linux service. Now let's go back to uh, this is done. So very soon you should see it responding. Okay. You should see it's responding. You should go to groups. You should have three. Yes. So what is it? Yeah. You see, that's the Windows 7. So you can go here to the groups and then the Windows input, edit the agent, just like that. Then if it's okay, yeah, click save it, go to input configuration, get Windows input, save it, go to groups with Windows off, maybe, start with it. Over here, over here, so, application, over there, for the Windows output, over here. Alright, so in terms of the various servers, we've been able to deploy the apps that are needed for them. So we should be good for now. So good for now. All right, so what we have to do is to get things kicked in. First of all, let's go to our search head. Now let's see if we can search. So since we don't, yeah, so we need to start both servers, both the outputs. So sorry, both the both the Linux and then the Windows servers. Start Splunk, restart Splunk, cd, and restart. Already started Splunk, so Splunk, restart, restart. Just want to look in. Use the command to do that. Before I do the for star, do the strong, the then if you're doing so cd to do, and then here we can do strong, I don't know, start strong, start, start to, and let's go to this respond again. Okay. The Windows is now restarting. Let's see. Let me search it. Oh, yes, so you see. So now we have our Linux server responding because now it's able to send data to it's able to connect to the indexer because of the output.com that we did. So this is our Linux and this is our Windows server, sorry. All right. Let me duplicate this and see something. Whether my indexes are working. Indexes are data. It should not be this one, sorry. We did it on the indexer. So it should be here, right here. Yes, so you see the data is flowing through. So I see the Windows has some data in here, and then Linux still has some data. But I think I should have restarted my, let's see. Let's see if it will be passed correctly. Oh, yes. Let's see. Go restore the TS so it's being passed correctly. Let's look at Windows. No, so should Windows did not pass correctly. Okay, so we should also have uh, yes, we should have had the TA. So there's one of the things that you can do. You can have the TAs installed on the searcher too, so that you can pass the data correctly. So it's the data is coming in, but the fields, most of the fields are not being extracted because the TA is not on the searcher. But again, let me see. Uh, it's advisable to always keep your your indexer offline, so that because you protect your data, right? Let's see. Let's look at our so we have another indexer. So the T's were deployed, so we should be good. Okay. All right. So then we need to. Uh, in fact, what we can do is that since you're already here, I'm going to create another server class. We call it sh app. And then go to the backend of my searcher and run the deploy pull command. Do sudo Splunk. The cd this command here. Yeah, yeah. So I want the searcher to come here too, so that I can deploy the TS to the searcher directly. But as it stands, yes, we see the data, but the only concern we have is that it's not being passed correctly. That means the fields are not being extracted as expected. The Linux T is kind of doing its work, but we still have to be sure that we have the T's on the. Mhm. Four. And so we have yeah, the searcher also responded here. So let's see. Let's get a sorry, the server class here. Is it the agent? And this will be the switcher. Let's see if I put a switch here, if it's going to work. Is that preview? Yeah, it works. So save it and do the configuration. I need a TS. We push to switch. Okay, so you can use the web server to push up to the to the searcher to if you are only if your architecture is such a way that you don't have deployer, you can use the deployment server to do that. Okay. So we pushed it. So let's see. Let's see how it goes. But give me some minute and I will switch the data again and see how it's going to be fast. Mhm. We'll give it some few minutes and then we'll come back and check again. But as we wait, and we should try to always get, we should try to always get the the T's installed before this point. I'm going to set up the monitoring console, but before I do that, if you want to have a very nice uh, visual, you have to again bring in the other components as set piece. So here I'm going to bring in the index, sorry, I'm going to bring in the indexer as a search peer to the deployment server, which is also serving as my thing. Yes, it's the so is the it's good. It's good. It happens sometimes, but it's good. And also bring in the searcher as my search peer on the DS so that I can figure the monitoring console wrong. So we have the searcher and then so now we go to the monitoring console and then we go to settings and I set up. So here everything is together. Let's go to the distributor and then we see all this and then we have to edit it. So DS is DS, yes, the DS. And then go to indexer. Mm, okay. And then go changes. So the last over here. You can hear and everything is good. So I have one index, I'm such a one deployment server. And then the folder instance and see what information we get here. Oh, folder deployment. see, okay, so go to setup, enable, you have to enable it first. Save it, and then, right, so now we do deploy. Mhm. See, see now the data is in pass. So the TA fixed it, but I'm saying you shouldn't wait till this point. So always, if you read documentation, it's optional to have the TS on the searcher, but again, that is the most, uh, that's the interface should be interacting a lot, the searcher. So, most of the work that we're doing will be on the searcher. So you try as much as possible. We know it's optional to get a TS on the searcher so that you will not be having the issues with passing of the data. So we see here all the fields are being extracted nicely. So it's good. Let's look at Linux. And then Linux still should. You see, now we have more fields. Initially it was 100, now we have 110. So it means the T is working. Monitoring console is getting slow, but will come up. Yeah, so for now, we've been able to do every single, task that is required. Um, we been able to put all the instances together in the DS. Okay, okay, like that. Okay, so we still have it here. Let's go here and do further instance and see. Okay, yes, sir. So further instance, we see. You can also let the folders are here. Yeah. And then you can also do folder deployment. Just put folder, the folder is missing. So the folders are empty. This is just a dashboard that Splunk provide that you can actually observe the activities of the folders, that they are alive or they are dead. So, so that is it. All right. Thank you very much. And hope we meet next week. Don't forget to subscribe and share.